What is up, everybody? Woo! Welcome on in to your favorite NFL daily show, Roundtable Sports' Fourth and Forever. I'm your host, Richie Malora, joined by TD Finstock. We're missing out on Dan Mitchell, but he'll be back next week as the NFL season is here. Shout out to Joseph Dion, who filled in for Dan Mitchell, who was an absolute dog on this show, holding his ground, giving us all the NFL insight we need. Shout out to Joseph Dion. We appreciate you. TD, welcome to the show. Shout out to the chat. Boy, do we got something to talk about today.
Yes, crazy work. Man, oh man. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Let's have a good show, man. A lot going on. Obviously, the big fish in the room is the situation. We'll get into that and so much more. But y'all got to punch that like button. Let everybody know we're live right now. Fourth and forever. We're here, baby. Let's go.
Someone in the chat is in my brain because I was thinking the same thing as Jake. I'm getting wake up and ball vibes.
Woo,
and I'm wearing the wake up and ball
Richie got the
patch
shirt on,
too.
man. I'm playing.
Oh, man. The people want wake up and ball, TD, but it doesn't seem like that's in the operations right now based off our busy schedules.
We're trying to figure the scheduling out, man. We're going to have to figure out a good time because I want it to be the essence of wake up.
Yeah, man. Wake up and ball was a great concept, and we don't want to let that die. But what do you think, TD? We gotta figure out.
We gotta figure that out. So let's talk more on it this weekend, and then try to see if we can lock something down.
All right, let's do it. Well, we got Fourth and Forever with you daily. Don't forget, Dan Mitchell is, of course, the third host. We have a breaking blockbuster trade we're going to talk about with Micah Parsons going to the Green Bay Packers. And you got to give credit to the dog, man. You know that account on X that broke this news, TD? Are you aware of that story? Slick Rick, I believe is his name.
Yeah, that's my burner.
What's your burner?
I retired it again. I always retired, and I come out of retirement and give y'all a few gems and then retire again. That's an exclusive, man. I'm letting you know that's my burner, Richie.
What's your burner, man?
Listen, man, I report breaking news around the league, man. I'm just saying, I'm just kidding, y'all. Y'all gonna be like, oh, this guy trying to take credit. No. Yeah, I know who dropped it. Listen, man, there's people in the know out here, okay? There are people in the know. And look at how many prominent people, y'all stop listening to this crap. This is a bunch of just people trying to get clicks. You don't know who, especially y'all media members. Y'all need to pipe down. Some people have more connections than you all in the media. So, and I know it hurts you to know that, but he was on the money. He knew what he was talking about. He had got word. He said he don't believe it's going to happen, but this is what he's hearing. And that's credibility. It ain't like he was pushing the narrative. He basically said, this is crazy. I don't think it's going to happen, but this is what I'm getting. But yeah, man, this is crazy, man. The biggest recorded Ricky bomb in history. Never doubt the dog. Wow.
No, it is wild. And we talked about this, and there was a segment of Fourth and Forever earlier this week, and I brought up Ricky's report, saying like there is a rumor of Micah Parsons going to the Packers, and I kept emphasizing rumor. I don't know if I believe it. Well, anything that comes from Ricky Scoops now, I'm going to believe as a legit report.
Yeah.
You know what else he was first on?
What's that?
The news and free agency that the Jets were interested in Justin Fields at quarterback. I remember seeing that. I'm like, it's a rumor. Jets, Justin Fields. It was like a few weeks before free agency. And he was right.
Yeah,
He's right about everything.
He's in the know because nobody can guess anybody would want Justin Fields. So for him to know that,
you know what would be smart for Ricky Scoops? Maybe we can offer this to him. You know what would be the best thing for his career, whoever runs that, is to figure out a way to create an artificial intelligent dog that he can hide behind and have like a fake voice behind it. And he can be on the show with us right now. We're like interviewing him. And it's like an animation of that dog talking to us. And somehow there's some type of technology that can do that. Do you think there's technology that can pull it off? I think so.
Yeah, there is, but he'd have to want to do it. You know, Ricky keeps saying he's retiring and he'll come out later maybe and stuff. So I don't know.
Good opportunity for him. But that's all jokes aside. So hit that thumbs up button, folks. We got a lot to get into, a lot of jam-packed information coming out, and I really want to dive deep into this Micah Parsons stuff, because what was your reaction first when you saw that news, TD, that Micah Parsons is officially getting traded to the Green Bay Packers? We were talking about this for weeks now. It feels like even over a month, and I was wrong. I always thought that Jerry's going to get the job done just because he did it with Dak and he did it with CD, and I thought he was doing the same thing with Micah. But apparently what we found out based off all the reports is Micah Parsons went to the Dallas Cowboys and was persistent. I want a contract. And Jerry basically told him, play on your 5th year or leave. It's either you play with us for 1 more year with no contract or you get traded. And at that point, Micah Parsons well, if you're not going to pay me, I want out. And then things leveled up. And then all of a sudden, he goes to the Green Bay Packers with a record-breaking deal for 2 first-round picks in Kenny Clark. So what's your reaction of the Micah Parsons trade?
First of all, this is shocking to everyone because organizations are infamously stupid. And I might be the Lone Ranger in all of the world that thinks that the Dallas Cowboys made an excellent decision. They actually made an excellent decision. You don't have any money. You paid everybody, and it was one more person to pay. You don't have any money. So how do you expect your team to be better? Would you just want to pay for the constant repeat of the same mediocrity over and over and over again? So I actually love the fact that they went ahead and traded him in efforts. We don't know if it's going to work out, but you got to take chances to try to make your roster better. So you get capital and you fill a hole that's massive on your defense already at the defensive tackle position. He's old, but it still fills a hole right now. And you get 2 first-round picks. And you go in the draft and you hope that you hit on those picks. If you don't, you gambled and it didn't pay off. If you do, your team could be better for it. But you've already tried this. You've tried the Dakian regime. The only problem I have with all of this is you should have exercised the same thing with Dak Prescott instead of giving him $60 million and being on the hook, locked down with handcuffs with that for a few more years. This was a smart move, but the move you made before it makes it dumb. But I'm not knocking you for making it. You had to. At what point do you say this is insanity? We're doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result. We got to stop operating out of hope and go into action. And this was an action move. But again, why did you pay Dak? CD, okay. In any scenario, CD can fit. Any scenario for the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb can fit. But don't tell me in any scenario Dak fits because he can't get you over the hump. He can't play great football in the playoffs. And he's starting to have more and more injury concerns. So it's a contradiction, but I do understand why you did it, and this was best for the Cowboys. A lot of people, you can't trade away your best players. Well, Green Bay, you on the clock. You better win with the best player. But here's what I need people to know about the Dallas Cowboys making this trade. If they would have re-signed him, it was going to be zero benefit. It wasn't going to move the needle. You think signing a guy that's already on the roster makes the roster better? No. It's just the same thing at a higher price. And let's not forget, it was $47 million. I wouldn't have given this man $47 million. I think that's what everybody's failing to realize as well. Green Bay is basically telling you, we're going for broke. We're putting all our chips in the middle of the table, and we're trying to make it work like the Eagles. And if it works, yay! But we're going to be in trouble in the future financially. And if it don't work, oh, crap. That's all this is. This is a temporary situation for Green Bay to try to push all their chips in the middle of the table. Because they're in a division that they haven't dominated, that has great teams in it, and you gotta have a competitive edge somehow. And now they got two of the best elite pass rushers. So I get it, Green Bay, but you're on the clock too. You got a 2-3 year window to actually win it. Because if you don't, you failed making this trade. So it's a whole bunch of wait and see who won the trade, but everybody's going to take a poop on the Cowboys right now. And I think that they're closer to getting better than they would have been had they signed him. Don't forget my last point, and I've already made it, but I got to say it again, Richie, $47 million. There ain't nothing else to talk about. Thank you for your services. Let's get those draft picks and let's move on. I can't pay. And truth be told, I don't care if y'all say he the best defensive player in the league. He ain't impacting no game at no $47 million. Just like none of these quarterbacks impacting the game at 60, 55, or $50 million. At some point, you got to stand for something to fall for anything. Congratulations to Jerry Jones for finally standing up for his organization. I know he's going to get bashed for it, but this is actually the best thing they could have done, in my opinion. I might be the only person on this earth that believe that.
Well, that is a lot of money, and I think it comes down to this and this only. We said years ago when they made the decision on Dak and CeeDee Lamb, it was going to be impossible to keep Micah. It was always two of the three, not all three, which is why they made that decision on CeeDee Lamb last year. We're like, well, they're going to pay CD because they got to pay Micah. So if the Cowboys didn't want to pay CeeDee Lamb and they want to save that money for Parsons and say we're in the same dance with CD and he was the one to get traded, they basically chose Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb over Micah Parsons. That's how I look at it. And they could have picked it in a different way. I think they would have been a little smarter to pick CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons and not Dak Prescott, but that's not a slander on Dak because Dak is a good quarterback, but he's not worth the money he's getting in order to win you a Super Bowl. And that's all the Dallas Cowboys wants. That's what every NFL fan base wants for their team, but especially the Cowboys with that standard and they're America's team. They have no playoff success, and Dak has proved, as great as he is in the regular season, and unfortunately he has an injury problem every other few seasons, he just is the guy that's not going to get you over the hump. And now he's still your quarterback getting paid a lot of money. So I do agree where, from a financial perspective, it makes sense. There's no way you would have won, by the way. Say the Cowboys gave Parsons that money, same exact contract. They're in cap casual. They're like screwed for the next 3 years, where the only way they get depth is if they can just hit a home run in every single draft pick. All the way to the 7th round. Every single, because they can't sign anybody in free agency. They're capped out with those three people. I don't think, TD, there is a world in today's NFL where you can get away with paying three positions top dollar. Now, the Bengals are somehow figuring out a way to do it, but you're talking about one of the highest paid quarterback, one of the highest paid wide receivers, and then the highest paid non-quarterback with Parsons. It's just impossible.
Well, I want you to think about this, Richie. Right now, they gained 2 draft picks, 2 first-rounders, and they keep about $40-something million, right? $40 million, 2 first-rounders. The Dallas Cowboys could have saved $107 million and had 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years. All they had to do is not pay Dak Prescott and trade him, get you another 2 first-round picks, do the same thing with Micah. You could have drafted Shador and had 4 first-round picks.
And get out of here with Shador.
$100 million.
You ruined it.
Mean that? Hold on. You mean to tell me the Dallas Cowboys wouldn't have been in a better position?
How are you making this about Shador Sanders right now?
You mean to tell me the Dallas Cowboys wouldn't have been in a better position if they had $100 million, 4 first-round picks, and Shador Sanders? 4 first-round picks, $100 million, and Shador. You can't tell me they wouldn't have been in a better position. But
why Shador out of anybody? Why him?
Man, you know what? At this point, Richie, I don't care if we said Dylan Gabriel. You would have been in a better position if you'd have had 4 first-round
I know,
picks.
but you just ruined everything you said by bringing up Shedeur because
you know why? Because
Shedeur. We got to think of a name. Chat, can we find a name? Like there's Two and Ears, and then there was like the Zach Truthers. What's the name for the Shedeur super fans? Because there needs to be a word for that. Is there already one that I don't know about?
Richie,
Dan called it a cult.
Because I laid
the Shedeur cult.
Because I laid the foundation for the Cowboys back before the draft on this show.
But you're the problem. Like you have to tie Shedeur Sanders' name into that amazing take you had about the Cowboys. And then you have to make a point.
Because Richie, he's going to be a great quarterback in the NFL, Richie.
How come he's not starting over Joe Flacco or even better than Dylan Gabriel?
Because he plays for the most incompetent organization.
All excuses already started.
Who don't think the Browns are the most incompetent organization in the NFL?
What do you mean? They got Malachi Corley on the practice squad now.
My point exactly. So listen, my whole thing is I don't care what quarterback it would have been. Screw the quarterback. It could have been Cooper Rush still there. You would have had 4 first-round picks and $100 million with your current roster. Without Dak and Micah. That would have been a better reset for you. But now that's
not happening. Years. But now let's focus on today. Now let's look at this. We talk about Dallas, and I think, and I don't want to be everybody. I don't want to be the majority because I feel like a lot of people are focusing more on the Dallas Cowboys in this situation. But we got to talk about the Green Bay Packers, their side of the trade, right? Their side from the Green Bay Packers perspective. Honestly, I think this is exactly what the Packers need. And I know that's not something that people are saying where it's not a positive for the Green Bay Packers because of how much money he's getting and whatever. But this is, and the reason why I say this, the Green Bay Packers are a very unique organization. They're one of those classic teams that has always been the same. They always have that franchise quarterback and are operated the same way. But this is different for them. This is a sign of change in the Green Bay Packers, who have shareholders, by the way. They're also ran differently than any other organization in the NFL with having, I could be an owner of the Packers if I wanted to. If you're a fan, you could put money down and be a shareholder with the Green Bay Packers, which is number one cool. But this is telling that the Green Bay Packers are taking a giant swing of getting the face of that football team, a generational talent. And that's big. They need that. They even had that since who? Reggie?
Aaron Rodgers.
On defense.
Oh, okay.
Brett Favre had Reggie. You need to have that defensive star to do what the Green Bay Packers need to do. And they've been lacking that, man. And I think that this is a sign where the Packers are usually that team that doesn't make splashes in free agency. You never see the Packers go aggressive for anybody. They never do anything splashy. They find their quarterback, and then they just draft and fill out their roster in a boring way and are usually traditionally good. This is an untraditional way to acquire talent. That's all I'm saying. Now, we don't know if that's going to work or not, but I think it's exactly what the Packers need because going into the season for Green Bay, I'll be honest, I'm pretty low on them. I was like, there's no hype around them. They don't have an offense that I feel comfortable with talent-wise. Their defense is okay, but it's not anything to be feared of. But now they add Micah Parsons? 2 first-round picks for Micah Parsons? The Jets got 2 first-round picks and a third for Jamal Adams. Khalil Mack was traded for a monsoon amount. The draft compensation the Packers had to give up for this was nothing. 2 late first-round picks and Kenny Clark, no-brainer. I think this is a really positive move for the Green Bay Packers.
Richie, I'm not sure I'm sold on this move for the Packers. Does it make them better? Yes. Does it elevate them in their division to really compete for that top spot? Yeah, but that's just compete. This notion that they're Super Bowl favorites, I had to backtrack because I started saying it yesterday, but no, this doesn't make them Super Bowl top 5 favorites. It don't make them top 5 favorites for the Super Bowl. I still wouldn't put them above the Chiefs. I wouldn't put them above Baltimore. I'm not even going to put them above the Lions still. Not a healthy version of the Lions. I still can't put them above the Eagles. And maybe they're up there with the Commanders close, but yeah, this is a move to make sure that you don't regress, in my opinion. that you're still putting your foot on the gas and you're trying to figure out the perfect formula to get this team contending for Super Bowls. So you got to make moves like this if you're an organization. My thing is, this is a pretty penny to spend to do it. Like, we could talk about the 2 first-round picks all we want. Those are late round, first-round picks. Obviously, they'll be in the 20s. But what I will say is that $47 million, that's a big pill to swallow. And here's the deal. Jordan Love getting paid. Micah Parsons getting paid. Now you got to look through that roster and say who else is getting paid. And here's my thing about Green Bay. Who's the number 1 receiver?
Rookie. Golden.
You see, like, where they really, in my opinion, needed the help was at that position.
And that's the key. If Matthew Golden, their first round pick from Texas, can be a first, like, they're develop into a Justin Jefferson, but not that good, right? The number 1 receiver. He's drafted in the first round. And if he can become that number 1 receiver, that's going to be everything for Green Bay. You want to know why? Yeah. That's a number 1 receiver on a cheap rookie contract. That's how
what they're taking advantage of right now. The cheap contract on the receivers.
They have to draft well. They're coming off a solid draft. And if Golden, I like Golden, man. I remember being in Green Bay at the draft, and I was staying at the same hotel. I was in an elevator with him. And we're going up. I'm just like looking at Golden. I'm like, I got to say something.
Yeah, but here, and also y'all interviewed him, didn't you?
And we interviewed him. Bass interviewed him before he was drafted as a Packer, our Packers creator here at Roundtable.
And that's the point I was getting at, Richie, is that everything's really on that rookie to make the difference for this team.
It's also Jordan Love, because he kind of disappointed last year in my eyes. There's a lot of hype around him. I had a lot of high expectations for him last year, and he did not fulfill the expectations I had at all. He needs to take that next step, because he did not look good at the end of the year last year. And even, I know it's the preseason, but the Jets played the Packers in the first preseason game, and he looked like a backup out there. I was like, Jordan Love looks trash. It's the preseason, but still, I was not impressed, unless the Jets defense is that good, TD. But yeah, we'll see about Jordan Love.
Yeah, that's what it's going to come down to, that connection. But that kid is going to have to be special and help elevate Jordan Love's game. Jordan Love hasn't been a bum in this league, but and he's had great moments. But Jordan Love is teetering that line of good and really good. He's teetering that line. And if he falls down to good, he's going to very quickly enter into the Tua Tagovailoa, Trevor Lawrence, Kyler Murray area. But right now he's teetering that line where he's barely above them. And he needs, now that he has what those guys have, now you need to elevate some, like, point blank into that next category or the one above that. So there's no excuse at this point. So yeah, that's what it's gonna determine. But here's the thing. I may be another Lone Ranger here, but Micah Parsons is overrated. I think Micah Parsons is overrated. And you know how I do my scale of 1 to 10 for players, 10 being the greatest in the league? He is a 10 out of 10, but people put him as like a 12 out of 10. Like, he is not the generational that people make him out to be. He's just elite. He's great. But this notion that he's like been this absolute record, I see that consistent and great. But this like game record changer, like, oh my gosh, no, I have never got that. So I don't know, man. Now, again, you can't put a value on consistency because there's been no fluctuation in his career and he's been elite the whole time. But I just don't like this notion of trying to put him with some of the greatest of all time and those guys that literally are game wreckers. No, because another thing I want to say too, I don't be seeing Micah Parsons show up like that in those elimination games. I don't be seeing him beasting like that in those elimination games of the playoffs, just like Dak Prescott. None of them show up in those moments. And so that's where I'm at with it. So I don't want people to say when I say he's overrated, like he's less than a 10 out of 10. But you know those 12 out of 10 players that are rare, that's how y'all making him out to be. Like at their position, you talk about a Brady and stuff like that. Like
but at his position.
At his position,
because I disagree with what you're saying, man.
You think he's the best pass rusher in the entire NFL?
Yeah. The numbers back it up.
Yeah, the numbers.
He is six. TD, in his first 4 seasons in his NFL career, and he's 26 years old, he has the 6th most sacks in the first 4 seasons of his career. And he's in the conversation with guys like J.J. Watt, Reggie White, DeMarcus Ware, all those types of guys who came out of league dominant. That's what he is, generational. There's nobody sniffing what he's doing today in the last 10 years. J.J. Watt was the last defensive player to put up the amount of sacks he did in his first 4 seasons. So he is generational. That's the definition of generational in my brain. I mean, 50 sacks, 52 and a half sacks in his first 4 seasons, and he's 26 years old. I mean, he's up there with the greats. There literally has not been anybody since J.J. Watt to do what he's doing in his first 4 seasons. So he is a 12 out of 10. He is generational. Now, that's just the numbers of what he does in the regular season. You do have a point. Where is he in the big moments? He has 1 sack in 4 playoff games. That's unacceptable. And I'm someone that says stars are born in the biggest moments. So that is definitely one element that needs to be brought up. He has not stepped up in those elimination games. He has not that generational game wrecker guy, but there's also nuances where the opposing offensive coordinators are chipping him and doubling him and neutralizing him, and he's got to be able to get over that if you're a generational guy. So I don't know. I don't see the overrated element.
He's overrated, Richie, so I'm going to rebuttal what you're saying. Again, from a numbers standpoint, getting the sacks, this is why what I said. That's why he's a 10 out of 10 and been consistent at it. But I'm talking about a game wrecker. And you know what game wreckers do? When you do play the big game, you put your imprint on. Oh, my gosh, this guy just can't be stopped. This guy just can't, in the big game. Those
in the
guys.
big game is where you're missing it, for sure.
So, but there's your gap, though. That is a major gap when you talk about some of the greatest all time.
But I think that he's 26. He's not even in his prime yet. He's in his prime currently. He has another 4 years of like dominant football where he can be better.
But like, I
have confidence that he is. But look at it from the Packers' perspective. I think that they are missing that defensive game record on defense in the big game. And Micah Parsons. Well, how do we know that he won't be with the Packers? You're just going to assume he's not because in 4 games he didn't?
Because you got to go off of what he's done before. You're saying that the Green Bay's missing that. Well, the Cowboys been missing it with him.
The whole Cowboys team stinks in the playoffs. That's just the Cowboys energy on Micah Parsons.
The whole Green Bay team stink in the playoffs lately.
Nah, they won Super Bowls.
No, lately. And we're talking about other rosters, Richie. We're talking about this current version.
Well, the Packers blew out the Cowboys. Let's not forget.
Yeah, which is true, too.
In the playoffs.
And why was that?
Because Dak Prescott.
Did he impact the game massively? I'm sorry. So my whole thing again, you gotta show up in the big game.
Disrespect. And I get it. The big game is everything. The big game is everything, but I just don't want. This is something how I look at it too. Just because what happened in the past doesn't mean it's guaranteed going to repeat itself.
But you can't give him credit for the future that he's never even wrote.
Of course, but I'm not writing it off though completely.
I didn't write it off. But what I'm saying at this very moment, you cannot put him as the group of the elite of all time when the man ain't showing up in the big moment.
He's got to step up the big moment. That entire organization does. Let's get to some super chats. Micah said he didn't want big money, but Jerry Jones effed it up with not going to his agent. That's what LaSalle says. Some drama in between the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones, man. Thank you, LaSalle, for the super chat. Sanders is not an NFL quarterback, but Tyler Shook is.
Tyler Show is. Yeah, exactly. Ain't no single quarterback on the Saints that's better than Shedeur Sanders.
Spencer Rattler.
That's neither here nor there. Ain't a single one on that roster.
Spencer
Even with a healthy Derek Carr at this point, ain't a single quarterback on that roster.
Another $2 super chat. Richie thinks Quinnen Williams is a game wrecker. Well, there's proof that he's been a game wrecker with the Jets. Last year he wasn't.
He started out his career as one.
Yeah, last year he was not a game wrecker. And the question is, can Quinnen get back to that form? Because there is all-pro. He's a two-time all-pro. So that is a game. He was a game wrecker at one point of his career with the New York Jets. But the question is, can he get back into that dominant self? So I don't know what you're talking about. But you say is, so he will have to prove it this season. So that's the big trade that happened. We spent half hour talking about it, as we should, because it's a big-time topic. Let's get into some Patreon callers. First caller's up first is Mr. Lino himself. What up, Lino?
What's going on, fellas?
Good to see you or hear from you, bro.
I kind of agree with TD, but 100% disagree with him. Like,
on what?
One thing I'm starting to realize is people do this thing, especially in media, where they think opinion is facts. Micah's numbers show that he's elite. Stop saying that just because in your eyes you don't think he's elite. That's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is elite. You know what I mean? Like, and he is up there with the TJ Watts and, Myles Garrett. He is good. Yes, he is.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not.
Out of all of them, they're all in the same boat. TJ hasn't won a playoff game for his team. Myles Garrett can't get his team to the playoffs. So, like, it's a team effort. You can't always think their whole is not that great. It's not their fault that sometimes during the games it doesn't go their way. For instance, you think that Lamar Jackson is one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL. Well, he stinks in the playoffs half of the time, and I don't hear you say none of the stuff you're saying. Like, are you doing with him?
He don't stink in the playoffs. He made
Lamar
one error here and there, and y'all say
that's a lie.
No, he doesn't.
See, this is what I mean, TD. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Lamar,
what do you watch?
No playoffs.
What do you watch?
The man, like,
he has.
He
has done that, TD.
Not what you watch.
He has. He has. I mean, like,
no.
Records have shown that. Like, people do good in the regular season. I understand that part. You know what I mean? And I still think Lamar is elite. I'm not saying he's garbage. I'm never going to say that. I'm just saying, by your logic of what you're saying, it can flip the other way as well. That's what I'm trying to, get at. You know what I mean? Like, point blank, Micah is elite. I think Green Bay is going to work out for him because they don't have to pay people that much there. And two, Green Bay doesn't need a number one wide receiver to get where they need to get to. They don't need that. I don't know why y'all so obsessed with a number one wide receiver. They don't need that. They're doing okay without having a number one wide receiver. All they got to do is get past Detroit, and I think this is going to help them out a little bit more. Two, the NFC, you already said, you don't need too much to go to the Super Bowl from that division. You know what I mean, from over there. So I don't get why it's a big deal as far as from TD's perspective. The Lone Ranger, which TD, people have said what you said already. You're not the Lone Ranger. People have said what you're saying.
Well, Lino, I do want to
going after you, man. Thanks for the call, Lino. We appreciate you.
I do want to differentiate a difference, though. I've already said that Micah Parsons is elite. He's a 10 out of 10. But he is not a TJ Watt who belongs in the 12 out of 10 category. Micah Parsons has played 4 playoff games. Do you know how many sacks he has in those 4 playoff games?
1. I said that before.
1 sack. Watt only played 1 playoff game, and he has 1 sack. But you also want to know what Watt has? Watt has 4 seasons with the amount of sacks that Micah has never had in any season. The man got a 22.5 sack season, a 19. He has 4 seasons with more sacks than Dak's all 4 of his seasons. He already got 4 seasons with more, and not just 1 more, 2 more. We talk about 6 more, 7.5 more. 2 more and half more. Stop. There's levels to this.
But TD, can you add the context that he did not do that in his first 4 seasons? He got into that level in the back end of his career.
Yeah, but
that's what
he's
Micah Parsons
done it.
entering.
But what I'm telling you though is after his first
Micah
4
Parsons,
seasons,
I would argue, is better than TJ Watt in his first 4 seasons.
After TJ Watt's first 4 seasons, which I actually would disagree with that too, Richie. They're pretty much, when you add it all up, they're probably equaling the same for the first 4. It's just Watt's first season where it wasn't out the gym because he only had 7 sacks.
I mean, Micah Parsons had 13 sacks in his first season as a rookie.
Yeah, I get it. But TJ Watt's second season, 13, then 14 and a half, and then 15. All I'm saying to you is Watt has proved it after the fact, so now we can give him credit. If this was TJ Watt
my
at
point
the year
is,
4,
my point is TJ Watt, all those 20 plus sacks came in the latter half of his career. That's what Parsons is entering. So you can't really,
but he hasn't done it yet.
4 years on him.
But you're trying to already give him what TJ Watt has done. That's all I'm saying. That's the difference.
He's on pace to do, is my point. Look at the first 4 seasons. They're identical.
He's on pace, but until you do it, like will Patrick Mahomes have a better career than Brady? He might be on pace, but that's still highly unlikely. It's still highly unlikely. He might be on pace.
That's a stretch of a comparison. You're talking about the greatest quarterback.
You're talking about pace, though, Richie. You're talking about pace.
Yeah, and also looking at who Micah Parsons is, you're making it seem like Parsons is not capable of that. His 100% is. You make it seem like I'm like inflating this dude that doesn't deserve to be an elite level category. There's a reason why he just became the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. There's a reason for that.
Who's better? Okay, who's better? Micah Parsons or TJ Watt?
But you keep
can you
8
answer the
seasons
question,
compared to 4. You look at the first 4 seasons.
Can you answer the question, Richie? Who's better right now?
I would say TJ Watt.
Okay. All I'm saying to you is until Micah Parsons has another 4 years and accomplish what he did,
and he's about to do that with Green Bay.
But I can't put him in there. All I'm saying to y'all is I can't put him on the same level because they did it yet. So therefore, Micah Parsons is a 10 out of 10. Why is that so hard for y'all to accept? The man is perfect in this league, a 10 out of 10. But there's players that are 11 out of 10, like TJ Watt. That's all. Y'all act like I'm knocking on him for saying that he's 10 out of 10.
I think Green
Bay you want him to be right there with Watt, and he's not. He's here, and if he does what Watt did in years 5, 6, 7, 8, he'll be there or higher. But until that happens, y'all got to stop making it seem like it's done already. No, I'm sorry. That's rare.
Let's get into some more super chats. We got another one. Aaron Donald got triple teamed out of bed. Excuses. Who's making excuses? Aaron Donald is one of the greatest defensive tackles in the league. No one has ever That's like saying no quarterback is good because they're not as good as Tom Brady. What are we doing here?
No. Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, no, we can't give Josh Allen any credit because he's not doing what Brady did. So I guess we can't give Quinnen Williams credit because he's not doing what Aaron Donald's doing. I mean, come on.
That's kind of true, though.
$10 super chat. Beyond the details. Thank you for the super chat. I agree 100%. Micah is elite, but he doesn't strike the fear like his stats show he would. I don't know what it is about him. Jerry Jones wouldn't trade Lawrence Taylor in his prime.
This is true. Because
Micah also has a big presence in the media, like having his own show. Do you think that has any impact?
No, I don't think that's a knock or anything like that. It's just, again, some guys have that. Like Micah doesn't play with total disregard for his safety and just a mauler. He's not a mauler. He's not that violent pass rusher that everybody loves. That no matter what.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he start off his career off the ball?
I have to go look.
Didn't he play off-ball linebacker and then they kind of evolved him into the edge rusher? And then they used him all over the place? And then he became...
No, I think it's actually the other way around. If I'm not mistaken, he was on the ball, and then they played him off the ball. Then they started the contract disputes 2 years ago of which position would he get paid at. Would it be edge or would it be linebacker? Remember that whole debacle? Which position should he be paid at? And he wanted to be paid like an edge.
And so smart.
That was the debacle.
That decision. Yeah. Congrats on your bag, Micah. Get your bag, man. I'm not going to lie,
though. He broke the barrier, though. I think that was one good thing. He broke the barrier. He kind of made it so that you can all of us are equal. The edge and that linebacker flex position, we're all equal. Off-ball linebackers and edges do not differentiate because now they're both getting money as such.
That's interesting. And I think Abdul Carter is a perfect segue into, can he become the next Micah out of Penn State? And they kind of have the same vibe to them. But we'll see if he will be able to do that. Now, let's get into another Patreon caller. We got Lascelles up next. What up, Lascelles?
Hey, guys. Sorry,
What's
TJ, I totally disagree with your statement. I totally disagree. I don't think TJ Watt is a 12 out of 10. 12 out of 10 at all. At all. Like, he ain't like a legend. He ain't like a legend. If Micah Parsons ain't a legend, TJ Watt ain't a legend. He ain't a legend. I wouldn't even call him the best pass rusher in Steelers history. Let's just be real here. He's not even the best pass rusher in Steelers history. Because Steelers have a lot of great pass rushers that I would take over TJ Watt. TJ Watt. So I'm not hearing that. And here's the thing. I am not like a big whatever rumors and shit like that. But if it is true that Micah Parsons said that he would want to be paid less. He doesn't want to be paid like number one pass rusher money at first. And then Jerry Jones did what he did. I don't blame him for not being like, Packers, give me the most money. Because he wanted to be on the Cowboys so badly. But got rejected by the owner, the stupid Jerry Jones. At that point, it's like, trade me. I'll go with the most money. So why does it matter anymore? Why does it matter? I tried to do something.
Thank you for the call, Lascelles. What are your thoughts of Lascelles' rant to you, TD?
Well, he was breaking in and out. You want to elaborate?
Well, he was just basically going after you, that he disagrees about TJ Watt not being at the top.
Not being an 11 out of 11. I mean, hey, everybody has their opinion. Like I said, man, I just think that he's a step above Mike Parsons. That's just, I just think that he's a more violent pass rusher. I think Micah Parsons has a little bit more finesse into his game that doesn't make him feared. That's what I would say. You got a game plan for Micah Parsons, but I just don't feel like people fear him like they do with Watt. So that's just my opinion. And if you disagree, I get it. I mean, at least it's arguable. So either way, whether you agree with me or you disagree, both sides would be valid because it's a debatable subject in my opinion. So yeah.
Interesting stuff. Great call from Lascelles. Thank you so much. Guys, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you did not already. We appreciate everybody tuning in to the show. Fourth and Forever live every single weekday, 1 p.m. EST. Let's do it. Smarty Jams, another $5. So Quinnen has no help and gets triple teamed and gets 5 sacks, but Garrett Wilson will get triple covered with no help and he still gets 1,000 yards. What's this guy doubling down on this? Quinnen had an off year last season, but that was his only down year. I mean, yeah, he was a down year. Quinnen's got to prove himself to be at the top of the league. Quinnen also has proved that he can withstand triple and double teams and still be dominant like he did in 2 years ago. I mean, what's with this guy's so obsessed over Quinnen? Are you a Quinnen hater? This guy? Put some respect in my boy Big Q's name. TD, you're the one that's starting this. You're the one that's sparking this hate.
Stop that. Quinnen Williams started it by being a bum last year. Let's call it what it is. He better.
The whole team were bums last year, okay? Well, I'll call out the whole team. The whole team, bums.
All of them did.
All of them, bums. I'm not afraid to admit that.
Quinn ain't going to be all right. He's a talent that you're not going to hold down for long. Obviously, game plans were against him a lot too. But he got to have a big year for Aaron Glenn this year. So, and I'm sure Aaron Glenn's going to make sure that's the case.
Again, 3-time captain.
And here's an indication. Even if he has a quiet year, did everybody around him go off? Because that could be an indication that was still a big year for him. So, at the defensive tackle position, a lot of times you could either beast or you could be a residual beast. And what I mean by that is the guys next to you going off because you're actually impacting the game by drawing more attention. So
we'll see what he do this year. Quinnen's whole career, he's been the only presence inside throughout his first 7 years with the Jets. So there was never like his real Robin. So we're hopeful that Harrison Phillips, who's a solid vet, can be that guy to help out, especially against the run, is what the Jets need to do.
Yeah, if anybody you want to say washed on the Jets, you should have said Breece Hall. And I've told y'all they should have been trading him, but anyway.
I just traded for Breece in fantasy.
RotoWire did not tell you to do that, Richie, and now you done screwed up. Why are you supposed to follow RotoWire?
Nah, but come on, tell me
I
cooked. Tell me I cooked. So basically, in my fantasy league, someone drafted Breece. He's my buddy from college. And he drafted him. He's like, I drafted Breece just to trade him. And I'm like, all right. And I may or may not have took advantage of him by saying that. I'm like, all right, you want to trade Breece?
Richie
and then I offered
Jamar Chase for Breece.
I offered him like, yeah, running back one for running back one. Travis Etienne, who's the Jaguar starting running back, straight up for Breece. He said, yeah. I said, yeah, let's do it. And I already have James Cook. I'm sorry, I don't have James Cook. I don't know why I just said James Cook. I have Kyron Williams and Bucky Irving as my 2 running backs, and I just added Breece. TD, my team is so stacked on Sleeper that was drafted through RotoWire that I don't even know where to fit Breece Hall. I got to bench Deebo Samuel.
Nope. Your team was excellent, and then you literally traded for the player that RotoWire didn't recommend. You're going to see Breece going to be your default this year, and you're going to learn how to listen to RotoWire 100%, okay? You need to stop that mess, Richie.
Well, RotoWire is your number 1 fantasy draft kit tool. If you guys have your fantasy football draft, which, by the way, TD, we actually need to, do our fantasy draft because I figured that out. It should have been figured out by now. But that's another discussion for us. But you guys can go deep into your fantasy football world on RotoWire by using the code RTS. You can create your whole draft kit, have your own personal draft assistant. You can do mock draft simulations. You can create a cheat sheet. You have rankings, depth charts, everything you need right here on RotoWire. And they are giving you a 15% discount code when you sign up using our code RTS. Really excited to get them on board and be part of this network.
Let's go.
Love it. All right, let's get back to the...
real quick, before we get to the Patreon caller, are we going to do a fantasy league for... viewers or the Patreon members? Because we want serious people to be in the league.
Yeah, the Patreon members are probably going to be. So what we're going to do, folks, if you guys want to become part of our Roundtable Sports Fantasy League, and obviously we have 1 week before the season. We don't really have time. So
put a link out Monday.
We're going to send a message through our Patreon if you want to join our fantasy league. And the only way you get access to our fantasy league this year is through Patreon. So if you wanted to join, if you are a Patreon member, stay tuned. We're going to make a post in there, and I think we're going to find a date next week to do the draft. It's going to be on Sleeper as well, and so stay tuned. And then we'll try to get whoever wants to join, and then we'll make it as many teams as possible and have some fun.
Let's go!
And if you want to become a Patreon caller, it also comes with call-in shows. You guys can call on in. Just like our next caller is about to call in. Mr. James Goldsmith is live. What up, James? Good to see you.
It's good to see you guys. Hey, first of all, my brother-in-law in Madison and my nephew in Madison are actual Green Bay Packers shareholders, and they're doing backflips. They love this deal, and I love this deal too because I think this is a great time for the Packers to take a swing. You see what Love's got while he's on this contract. I love the idea for them. I think this is their shot. But TD, I have to tell you, you are very much alone on the Cowboys thing. But I thought you made great points. Everybody on the internet is killing Jerry Jones, but they weren't getting better this year if they pulled this off. I thought everything you said was spot on. But I called in because I had a question for you on what you were talking about yesterday. You made my day yesterday on a long drive by explaining that Jordan Poyer was a double agent last year and that the whole horrific hit on Keon Coleman was all part of a plan to keep the Bills from having to drive down the field and punt, in the Miami game, that they were so afraid of Miami that they sacrificed their rookie wide receiver. I thank you for that because I was so angry at Poyer last year. That was one of my 2 horrible moments of the season was that horrific hit he he threw on Coleman. I was kind of annoyed to see him back after that.
Think
'Cause
about
he
it.
ruined.
It helped
he
y'all big
ruined
time, though.
He ruined Coleman's rookie season. Coleman was fine before that.
Is that what sparked Coleman's
That's what sent him
I
out for 3 weeks.
I didn't know that. I didn't know
he
that.
got injured on that call, on that unnecessary.
Yeah, I did not know that. I just knew that it sucked for us because Poyer did what he did because we were poised to win that game. I mean, when you look at it.
You're entitled to your opinion on what might have happened. But
you know we were going to win, James.
Here, I don't rant back, TD. But what I will say is you're entitled to your opinion on that, but it sucked for us because he really cratered the kid's year. He looks good this year, so I'm feeling better. But my question for you, because you saw him all year, he was obviously, Poyer was obviously a shell of himself last year. You can't have him starting for your team at safety anymore. But I liked it that they brought him back because they brought Micah Hyde back to the practice squad last year and he worked with the safeties. And I sort of figured this was the same sort of thing, maybe plug and play if he's good enough and somebody gets injured. But does he have anything left? I don't want a posturing thing here. If you can you, an honest opinion, having seen him in 17 games, can he still play safety or is he just another coach on the practice squad?
Thank you for the call, James. Great call there. Go ahead, TD. What are your thoughts of Poyer?
He's another guy on the practice squad. But since he's familiar with the system and everything that you all do, he will be able to probably contribute in that regards, be a guy who's in place, but he's going to contribute to you losing a lot of games. He's going to be the guy that actually gets beat. When you really looked at him last year, let me tell you something about last year, because I studied this Poyer season. I know a lot of people don't like PFF and all of that, but go take a look at PFF and it'll tell you all you need to know. The only teams he played good against were the AFC East teams in the Browns game too. That's it. Now, maybe that's a good thing for you guys. But I promise you, the only teams he played good for, the only games he played well last year was literally against every AFC East team in the division. Okay, he actually played above average against Buffalo, but that hit at the end screwed us over. Patriots, Jets, he played great football. Everybody else, he was bad, just terrible up except the Browns. Everybody else, though, he was bad. He had a bad season overall. So there's drops in the squeeze. You know, you got to squeeze it tight. You can get a few drops here and there out of it. But here's what I'll say. He's back home. He loved Buffalo. That is his home. He made that clear in the interview the other day. You know, I feel back at home and put an asterisk on my Dolphin season, all that hate he was spewing. But he's back home. He's back to what he loves and what his family loves. That'll give him a good mental space. He knows what you all are trying to do. So he can help the Buffalo Bills, especially the way y'all secondary looking right now. So I think that it's actually a good addition for you guys. You're not going to get this great player, but you're going to get a guy who might come in and make a few plays here and there. And that might make the difference for y'all, to be honest with you.
Interesting take there. So we got a few more minutes left on the show with 2 more Patreon callers coming in. So we want to get through the Patreon callers, but since we're close on time because we do have to end it soon in the next few minutes, we're going to fire them through. So come on in, say we got to say for 30 seconds, and we'll get out of here. We got Dwayne up next. What up, Dwayne? How you doing, man?
Yeah.
I'm shocked. For a change, and I don't know if it's because Dan's not here today, but for a change, there's about 75% that I agree with TD.
See, wow. I know ball, DF. I know ball. I be trying to tell y'all gonna win 9 games this year.
Listen, if you want to change a team, and I'm talking about Green Bay now, where you want to make that last player to get you the Super Bowl, it ain't a linebacker. It's going to be a wide receiver. It's going to be a cornerback. It's going to be that sackmaster defensive end. It's not going to be no Parsons. Is Parsons going to elevate their defense? Of course he will. He's going to make horrible teams look even worse. He's going to make average teams look horrible. But his stats hasn't been great against great teams.
Mm-hmm.
TD has been spot on about this. I'm scared. Goosebumps out.
DF agreeing with you, TD. How does that feel?
It feels great because DF's are pretty tough for me. But ball nor is no ball, man. I'm trying to help people out, man. They don't see the light. But hey, at least DF does. That's all that matters, man. I won today because DF agreed with me.
Let's get to our next Patreon, Mr. Glenn himself. Glenn, you're live.
Here's a question I have. How y'all doing today?
Great. Was that the question?
Now, I understand the question is this the same kind of deal that changed the 49 quarterback with the Watson, when the Cleveland did the Watson deal? Is this the same type of deal that will screw all the other teams? Because now even the low-paying defensive ends are going to get $30,000.
No, yeah, this just completely changed the non-quarterback edge rushers specifically when they're due to get paid. You saw Trey Hendrickson get his little upgrade in his salary just for 1 year. But 100%, I mean, thank you for the call, Glenn. We appreciate that. It's a great question. Yep. Absolutely great. Like the next guy that I'm looking at, TD, who's got to stay healthy, and if he does stay healthy this year and dominates, to see what type of contract he's going to demand, who's at that same position, is going to be Aiden Hutchinson. Now, Aiden Hutchinson, he is coming off a bad injury, and he has not been as good as Parsons or even TJ Watt to start off his career. But if he dominates this year, that's going to be the next guy at that position that's going to be due to get paid. And Glenn brings up a great point. Now that we saw Parsons get that type of money, if Hutchinson balls this year, the Detroit Lions, who are a team that's strapped for cash, are going to have that interesting decision to make.
A lot of teams are in trouble. Let me give you another player, right, who's been hurt 2 years in a row. But all it takes is 1 year of getting 10-plus sacks, and his market value goes up. Jalen Phillips.
And Jermaine Johnson, if you want to go that route.
All of those guys. That's what I'm saying, though, because the problem is people were laughing at me about a month ago because I made this statement. I said, if Jalen Phillips comes out and stays healthy this year and has 14, 15 sacks, he's at least getting $27 million. Oh, you don't know ball. You don't know what you're talking about. Ain't nobody giving him $27 million.
He's never even had double-digit sacks in his career. You think?
No, but he's been really good. It's just the injuries. Remember, you say career, but he missed 2 years from the injuries.
Yeah, I know, of course.
So, but here's the deal, though, Richie. All it takes is one season. And I said $27 million. I ain't say 47 to be in comparison. I said 27. All it takes is 1 year, and I feel like that baseline.
No, that's true. I mean, if he goes out there and gets 13, 14 sacks, and he's entering,
somebody will pay it.
He's entering his 5th year. He's a free agent.
Yeah. And here's another thing that just got screwed up because of Micah. The franchise tag just went up big time.
Oh, yeah.
The top 3 guys now. So the average of the top 3 in that year.
I want to ask you a question. Did the Miami Dolphins name their captains?
I didn't see that yet. I didn't see it. I saw a lot of teams come out, but I didn't see the Dolphins come out yet.
I was interested to see who your captains are. The Jets listed their captains and thought they were pretty interesting. So, man, football's back, TD. You ready to go?
Yeah.
Ready to go?
Man, this is the time, baby.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. We're going to give you one more reminder. If you want to join the Roundtable Sports Fantasy Football League, it is going to be for Patreon members. So if you want to come join, I will put the link in there to find out all the details of our fantasy league. All you guys got to do is click the link in the description to sign up for Patreon.
You already set up the league because I see it.
I set up the league and I invited you, TD. Yes. Okay, I already set it up. The link is at the top of the chat, folks. And if you guys want to join the Patreon, that is the only way you're possibly going to get access to our fantasy league. And you also get access to the call-in show. So you heard from Glenn, you heard from James, you heard from Lino, Lissell, all the DF Forever, all the great callers. You get access to the call-in links all throughout the season. Make sure you guys secure it now for while you can. So that's going to wrap up this edition of Fourth and Forever. TD, next week is game week.
Nice.
Next week is game week. So I'll see you then. Anything you want to say to the people?
Yeah, man. I guess we'll see y'all next week. Man, football is here. It's here, Richie. 6 days and the countdown is on. Y'all stay tuned. Fourth and Forever, doing bigger and better things. And we also keep adding onto this channel. So if you're new, go ahead and subscribe so you never miss a show.
We're out. Peace out, everybody.